Imagine this. What if everything in your life started working for you instead of against you? What if the challenges that once crushed you became the very fuel that lifted you? What if every setback, every delay, every disappointment was actually a setup for something greater? This is not fantasy. It's a shift, a decision, a mindset, and it begins right now. The truth is, most people don't realize how much control they actually have over the direction of their lives. They surrender their power to circumstances, emotions, and habits that don't serve them. They assume life is happening to them, not for them. And because of that belief, they miss the invisible opportunities hidden inside every moment of difficulty. The first step in making everything work out for you is reclaiming the truth. Life responds to your state, your energy, your focus, your decisions. When you shift those, you shift everything. This isn't about being blindly positive. It's about being strategically powerful. It's about training yourself to reinterpret the meaning of events in a way that strengthens you instead of weakening you. Because nothing in life has meaning until you assign one, and the meaning you choose determines the action you take. When things go wrong, most people collapse. They freeze. They overthink, they doubt, they procrastinate, they let fear narrate their next move. But the moment you decide that everything in your life, the good, the bad, the uncertain, is all part of your evolution, you step into a completely different level of control. You stop reacting, you start responding, you stop waiting for perfect moments, you start using imperfect ones. The reason successful people seem like everything works out for them isn't luck, it's pattern, it's psychology, it's ownership. They've learned how to turn obstacles into direction, pain into power, doubt into clarity. They don't escape challenge, they extract value from it, and that ability becomes the force that makes life bend, shift, and align with their goals. This journey begins with one belief: everything that happens is here to serve me if I choose the state that lets me use it. And once that belief anchors inside you, life starts reorganizing around your strength instead of your fear. Most people live in reaction. Something goes wrong and they immediately fall into panic, frustration, or hopelessness. They let the world dictate their inner state, but nothing changes in your life until you become the one who sets the tone. Everything begins with the mindset that chaos isn't a threat. It's a messenger, it's information, it's direction. It's the universe demanding a higher version of you. A person who makes everything work out isn't avoiding chaos. They're mastering the meaning of chaos. They've trained their minds to see patterns where others only see problems. They don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, how can this serve me? What is this shaping in me? What strength is being built right now? And that mindset alone opens pathways that most people never see. You cannot control every event, but you can control the interpretation of every event. That is where power lives. That is where transformation begins. When you interpret chaos as a crisis, you shrink. When you interpret chaos as a challenge, you grow. When you interpret chaos as a calling, you evolve. Every breakthrough you want, the health, the finances, the relationships, the confidence, requires a mindset that is stronger than your circumstances. Weak mindsets collapse under pressure. Strong mindsets rise inside pressure. And the foundation of that strength is your ability to choose meaning consciously, not emotionally, because when you choose your meaning, you choose your response. And when you choose your response, you choose your destiny. This shift also changes how you show up in the world. People are drawn to those who stay grounded in uncertainty. Teams follow them. Opportunities attach to them. Solutions reveal themselves to them. It's not magic. It's a predictable consequence of a strong inner state. The world rewards people who can remain resourceful, steady, focused, and optimistic in moments where others lose themselves. That's the mindset that turns chaos into opportunity. That's the mindset that makes everything begin working out almost automatically. The moment you decide that chaos no longer intimidates you, you become the person who bends chaos into clarity. If you want everything in your life to work out, you must master one thing above all else: your state. Your emotional state is the control center of your decisions, your energy, your resilience, your focus, your follow-through. It determines what you notice, what you ignore, what you believe is possible, and what you convince yourself is impossible. Your state is the invisible force shaping your results long before any action is taken. Most people try to change their life while staying in the same emotional state that created their problems. They try to fix finances while stressed. They try to improve relationships while resentful. They try to pursue goals while exhausted, drained, or overwhelmed. But your state determines your behavior, and your behavior determines your destiny. A negative state creates destructive decisions. A powerful state creates intelligent, bold, aligned decisions. When your state collapses, your perspective collapses with it. Suddenly, every challenge looks bigger, every setback feels permanent, every delay becomes a reason to quit. But when your state is elevated, strong body, strong breath, strong focus, strong energy, those same challenges look solvable, those setbacks look temporary, and those delays look like detours, not dead ends. Mastering your state is not about pretending. It's about conditioning, training, repetition. Every day you are either conditioning weakness or conditioning strength. Every morning you're either preparing for battle or walking in unprepared. Your emotional state must be built intentionally through movement, through breath, through rituals, through clarity, through physical intensity, through gratitude, through vision, through standards. A powerful state makes your mind sharper. It makes your strategy clearer. It makes your creativity more alive. It makes your ability to solve problems 10 times faster. That's why people who manage their state effectively often look lucky, because they show up resourceful. And when you show up resourceful, life shows up differently. When you learn to shift your state on command, life no longer pushes you, you lead it. Instead of reacting to conditions, you create conditions. Instead of being shaped by events, you shape events. And that is the foundation of making everything work out for you. If you want everything in your life to work out, you must understand the raw, unfiltered truth about focus. You will always move in the direction of what you consistently hold in your mind. Not what you hope for, not what you dream about, what you focus on. Because focus is the invisible magnet that shapes your destiny long before you take your first step. Most people never get what they want because their focus is scattered, reactive, and driven by fear. They focus on what isn't working instead of what could work. They focus on the worst case scenario instead of the best strategic action. They focus on gossip, distractions, doubts, past mistakes, and imagined futures. And focus moves energy. Their energy moves toward the very outcomes they fear. A person who learns to control their focus becomes unstoppable. Because when you direct your mind, you direct your emotions. When you direct your emotions, you direct your actions. And when you direct your actions consistently, results are inevitable. Your focus determines your feeling. Your feeling determines your movement. Your movement determines your fate. The secret to making everything work out is not wishing for ease. It's choosing your focus with discipline. Focused people don't ignore problems. They refuse to give problems authority. They place their attention on solutions, opportunities, strategies, strengths, and the future they are building. And because they keep their eyes locked on those targets, their mind begins to filter out distractions. Their brain starts searching the environment for alignment. Suddenly they notice possibilities, connections, and angles that were invisible before. That's not luck. That's focus doing its job. Your focus is a knife. It can cut you or carve you. And every day you choose how you use it. Are you sculpting your next level? Or are you cutting yourself down with thoughts, fears, and stories that weaken you? You must train your focus the same way you train your body or your mindset. Morning intention, daily clarity, constant redirection, catching yourself drifting into negativity and pulling yourself back into power. That practice alone can change your life faster than talent, faster than money, faster than opportunity, because focus creates opportunity. When you master focus, your life begins organizing around your vision instead of your fears. Everything in your life transforms the moment you make a real decision, not a preference, not a wish, not a I hope so, or maybe one day. A decision is a line in the sand. A decision is the moment you cut off every other possibility except the one you're committed to. And if you want everything in your life to work out for you, you must elevate your decisions to the level where they shape your identity, your standards, and your direction. Most people think they're making decisions, but they're actually just expressing desires. They say they want change, but they keep the back door open. They say they want a new result, but they keep their old habits. They say they want a breakthrough, but they keep negotiating with their limitations. Nothing works out for someone who can't make a decision, because indecision is the birthplace of chaos. A real decision simplifies your life. It eliminates confusion. It redirects your focus. It rearranges your habits. It clarifies your energy. Suddenly, your mind stops fighting itself. Your actions stop contradicting your goals, and your path starts unfolding because you aren't dragging hesitation into every step. Decisions also create momentum. Every major transformation in history for individuals, businesses, civilizations began with a single choice, a declaration, a point of no return. When you decide who you are, what you want, and what you will no longer tolerate, you activate a force that shapes the world around you. Life begins aligning with your conviction. Opportunities rise, people shift, circumstances reorganize, because the world responds to clarity. A person with a decisive mind is magnetic. They attract commitment, respect, resources, and pathways. They move differently, they speak differently, their energy communicates certainty even before their words do. And that certainty creates results. If things haven't been working out for you, it often comes down to a lack of real decision, a lack of commitment, a lack of defining what is non-negotiable. Once you decide fully, obstacles become temporary, challenges become manageable, fear becomes background noise. Your decisions create your destiny, not your conditions. And that truth becomes your greatest power once you stop waiting and start choosing. A decision means nothing without discipline. Discipline is the bridge between the life you envision and the life you actually live. It's the invisible force quietly shaping your destiny while everyone else is sleeping, scrolling, hesitating, or complaining. If you want everything in your life to work out for you, you must understand this truth. Discipline is the ultimate form of self-respect. It's how you prove to yourself that your future matters more than your impulses. Most people fail not because they lack desire, but because they lack daily consistency. They treat their goals like moods, and moods are unreliable. Discipline is not about feeling motivated, it's about acting with purpose when motivation disappears. It's about showing up on the days when you're tired, stressed, uninspired, or disappointed. Because those days are the days that shape champions. Those days build identity. Those days separate you from who you were and who you are becoming. Discipline is also the antidote to chaos. When your life feels unpredictable, when things aren't working, when emotions feel uncontrollable, discipline grounds you. It gives you structure. It gives you certainty. It gives you direction. Even a simple ritual, a morning routine, a workout, a daily planning session, an evening reflection becomes an anchor that keeps your mind steady while the world shifts around you. And discipline creates momentum. Once you start stacking small wins, your brain begins to trust you again. You rebuild confidence. You open the door to more resilience, more courage, more creativity. You move differently. You speak differently. You aim higher. That internal shift is what makes life start working out in your favor. Because life favors the person who is prepared, persistent, and intentional. Your habits are not just routines. They are signals to the universe about what you are ready for. When you live undisciplined, you communicate that you're not ready for more. When you live disciplined, you send a message that you will protect, honor, and elevate every opportunity that comes your way. Discipline is not punishment. It's alignment. It's the daily act of choosing the future you want over the comfort you crave. And when you live in alignment long enough, life begins rewarding you in ways that feel almost effortless. No matter how strong your mindset is, no matter how powerful your focus, no matter how committed your decisions or disciplined your habits, life will still test you. Life will still throw uncertainty, setbacks, curveballs, and moments that make you question everything. And this is where most people fall apart. They think struggle is a sign that things aren't working. But in reality, struggle is often the clearest confirmation that you're on the path to transformation. Resilience is the ability to stand tall when the world pushes you, to keep moving when progress stalls, to stay centered when everything around you feels chaotic. It's the art of recovering quickly and the science of staying emotionally adaptable, mentally strong, and spiritually grounded. A resilient person doesn't avoid adversity. They convert adversity into fuel. Every hit turns into insight. Every setback becomes strategy. Every no becomes navigation. Most people assume resilience is something you're born with, but it's cultivated. It's strengthened. It's built through repetition. Every challenge you survive expands your capacity. Every obstacle you overcome expands your confidence. Every moment you choose courage over hopelessness, you're training your nervous system to believe one thing: I can handle life. I can handle anything. Resilience is also the foundation of making everything work out for you, because life does not unfold perfectly. Opportunities rarely arrive in clean, convenient packaging. Growth does not happen in comfort. Breakthroughs don't come without breakdowns. If you only move forward when things go smoothly, you will never create a life that consistently works in your favor. A resilient mindset reframes challenges automatically. Instead of saying, why is this happening? Resilience says, how is this preparing me? Instead of shrinking, it strengthens. Instead of panicking, it plans. Instead of breaking, it builds. When you embody resilience, people feel it. Life responds to it. Doors open because you don't give up. Connections appear because you don't collapse. Success gravitates toward those who refuse to be defeated by circumstances. The world rewards the person who continues to rise. Resilience doesn't guarantee an easy life. It guarantees a victorious one. And once you develop the capacity to rise again and again, everything in your life begins aligning, not because it's perfect, but because you are powerful enough to handle the imperfect. If you want everything in your life to work out, you must understand one of the most underestimated forces in human transformation, your environment. You can have the strongest mindset, the best focus, the most powerful decisions, and the most disciplined routines. But if your environment contradicts your vision, your progress will always be slow, stressful, and fragile. Environment is stronger than willpower. Environment is stronger than intention. Environment is the silent architect designing your behavior, your beliefs, and your standards every single day. Most people don't fail because they are weak. They fail because they are surrounded by influences that drain them. People who normalize fear, people who amplify stress, people who live in excuses, negativity, gossip, procrastination, and low standards. That energy is contagious. It reshapes your expectations. It pulls your identity down to match the room you're standing in. You become what your environment demands. To make everything work out for you, you must choose environments that elevate you, not environments you must constantly fight against. You need spaces that remind you of who you're becoming, not who you used to be. You need people who challenge your limits, not your confidence. You need conversations that stretch your mind, not shrink your dreams. You need habits around you that reinforce strength, clarity, and growth. Transformation becomes effortless when your environment supports your future instead of your past. This doesn't always mean cutting people out of your life. It means reorganizing influence. It means giving more time, attention, and emotional bandwidth to those who push you, uplift you, and expect the best from you. It means reducing the weight of the voices that pull you backward. It means designing physical environments that trigger action, clean spaces, inspiring visuals, strategic cues that remind you of your goals, systems that make success automatic. Your environment also includes your digital world, the content you consume, the voices you follow, the messages you hear every day. These shape your beliefs more than you realize. If you feed your mind noise, fear, drama, and distraction, your life will produce the same. But if you feed it purpose, strategy, empowerment, and clarity, everything in your life begins to align with that frequency. When your environment supports your identity, life starts working for you. Not by magic, but by momentum. You stop swimming against the current. You start flowing with it. If you want to understand why some people seem to make everything work out for them while others struggle endlessly, look beneath the surface. Look at their belief system, the silent architecture shaping every thought, decision, and behavior. Beliefs are not just ideas you hold. They are the rules your brain follows. They dictate what you pursue, what you avoid, what you tolerate, what you expect, and ultimately what you create. Your beliefs determine the boundaries of your life. Most people try to change their circumstances without changing the beliefs driving those circumstances. They try to earn more while believing they're not worthy. They try to have better relationships while believing they're hard to love. They try to achieve goals while believing they're inconsistent, unlucky, or not capable enough. The external can never outrun the internal. You will always sabotage anything that contradicts your identity. A person who makes everything work out isn't luckier. They have beliefs that empower them instead of imprisoning them. They believe that challenges shape them. They believe that solutions always exist. They believe that success is inevitable if they stay committed. They believe that they're capable of more than their current circumstances. These beliefs act as internal laws. They guide behavior, they redirect focus, they sustain discipline, they protect resilience, they shape destiny. Your mind is constantly scanning for evidence to support your beliefs. If you believe life is unfair, you'll notice every setback. If you believe life works out for you, you'll notice every advantage, every opportunity, every opening. Not because the world changes, but because the lens changes. Beliefs also influence the quality of your actions. Someone who believes they can win takes bold steps, seeks solutions, surrounds themselves with strength, and perseveres through storms. Someone who believes failure is inevitable takes timid steps, looks for shortcuts, doubts their own decisions, and quits when adversity arises. Same human, different beliefs, completely different destiny. To make everything work out for you, you must elevate your beliefs. Replace default programming with intentional truth. Build beliefs that serve your future, not your fear. Treat your beliefs as instructions because that's what they are. Once your beliefs shift, your world shifts with them. There comes a moment on every transformational journey when the dots connect, where mindset, beliefs, discipline, and action form not a series of ideas, but a living system, a personal operating system, a way of showing up in this world that turns chaos into opportunity, problems into direction, and uncertainty into fuel. That is the moment when life stops happening to you and begins happening through you. And ultimately, because of you, the truth is this: life will never guarantee ease, but it will always reward alignment. Everything starts working out when everything inside you stops working against you. When your focus, your habits, your emotional standards, and your identity point in the same direction, forward, upward, unapologetically determined. This is not magic, it's mechanics. Human mechanics. You get what you tolerate. You grow where you commit. You transform where you stay consistent. You receive what you prepare for, and you become whatever you repeat. That's the formula most people ignore. They want outcomes without endurance. They want breakthroughs without breakdowns. They want success without structure. But the people who make life work are not the ones with the least problems. They're the ones with the strongest internal infrastructure. The formula is simple, but it demands everything. Clarity. Know what you want and why it matters. Identity. Become the person who would create it. Belief. Build an inner environment that supports expansion. Discipline. Do the work even when emotion disagrees. Focus. Direct attention where energy matters most. Resilience. Treat obstacles as training. Action. Massive, repeated, courageous action. Adjustment. Adapt quickly. Let go of what doesn't serve. Trust. Believe life is conspiring with you, not against you. When these pieces align, life begins to feel like it's unfolding in your favor, not because circumstances have become easier, but because you have become stronger. You're no longer chasing success, you're creating gravity. You're no longer asking life to give you something, you're demanding it from your own potential. Everything starts working out when you start working in alignment, mind, heart, habits, identity, purpose. Live by this formula long enough, fiercely enough, and consistently enough, and there will come a day when you look around and realize life didn't magically work out for you. You built a life that couldn't do anything else.